Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. My phone's buzzing, and Connor's giving me hand signals, and Kelly's laughing, and we're all jacked up. It is Monday, so thank you for tuning in to our Crossroads live broadcast. I normally say daily, but we hadn't been on it. It's been really, really busy the last few weeks and trying to get everything coordinated. Our internet's been down some days that we can't come on. So anyhow, thank you all for tuning in today. Please share this with your friends on your Facebook pages. And this goes to our YouTube channel. So if you know somebody that does the YouTube route, they can get on that and watch this and check it out. Today we're going to be talking out of Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15. And it says, "We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize and understand our weaknesses and temptations," not only our weaknesses, but and temptations, "but one who has been tempted," this is talking about Jesus, "knowing exactly how it feels to be human in every respect as we are, yet without committing any sin. Therefore, let us," you and I, whoever, "with privilege approach the throne of grace," that is the throne of God's gracious favor, "with confidence and without fear, so that we may receive mercy for our failures and weaknesses and find His amazing grace to help in time of need and appropriate blessing, coming just at the right moment." And basically, that we need to understand this is that how gracious and merciful God is through His Son Jesus Christ to us. And like this said, it said we don't have a high priest who can't sympathize or unable to sympathize and understand our weaknesses. Sometimes people don't understand. They don't know, well, why are you feeling that? Or why won't you just pick up and move on? Well, they don't understand a lot of times what's going on inside them. Sometimes I don't understand what's going on inside me at times. I'm like, man, what in the world? Why am I feeling this? Or why am I upset? Or why did I let that get under my skin? Right. And things like that. But we have a high priest in Jesus who is able to sympathize and understand our weaknesses and temptations, but one who has been tempted, knowing exactly how it feels to be human in every respect as we are, but he didn't commit sin, so we can approach the throne of grace with confidence to find help in our time of need. And I know, Kelly, we've talked a lot about fear. You've been open about some of the issues of fear and things that you battle, and I've never really had a problem with fear, but a lot of one of the weaknesses I battle is impatience. Not wanting to get it done right now, as good as anybody, and just click along. Okay, why can't this happen, and all these things, and that's the weak. Because sometimes, and it's not that God doesn't want it to happen, but it takes time sometimes, especially when you have other people in the loop that you've got to deal with or wait on or work with or whatever. Kelly and I have worked together for a long time, and we worked well. We don't always agree. Sometimes we butt heads, but we still love each other and go on, and no bad ill feelings or none of that. We just try to make it work, and in that, and that's the way it should be, especially in the church, because a lot of times people don't understand that the church business is not a regular business or not a regular place of employment that you go through, and dealing with church problems. Yeah, dealing with church problems can be very slippery slope at times with people's feelings and attitudes and emotions and those things. And then I get overwhelmed at days and times. And this says that but the answer to this is approaching God's throne of grace to find help. Right. I know a lot of times we vent. I vent to Kelly some days, about things that's going on here and in life and all of that. And she can vent to me. I vent to Connor sometimes. He's been on some conversations about things and problems since he works here at the church that we got to deal with. And sometimes we need to vent. We need to do that. But in the end, where I need to go is to His throne of grace, to find mercy to help me in my time of need. And Kelly, what's some things that you battle in the weakness part of it, that you've had to take to God for it to really get lined out in your life?
Well, a lot of it is, we've talked about the fear, but then also insecurities. I am a very insecure person, and I do feel like that's a weakness for me. A lot of people think that I come across bossy and mean, but it's just I'm insecure, and I want to make sure that things, my title's Officer Kelly out here for a reason. What I was thinking about. For a reason, I guess. Kelly, yeah. But I am a very, very insecure person. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I am. I'm very insecure, and then I overthink everything that I do. After I say or do something, then I rehash that and rehash that and rehash that. And sometimes that's a struggle. And then when I get things started, I want to get them finished, and I'm like you, I do have some impatience, but I'm learning to see God in the background. I'm learning to see that sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get everybody in the right place. I mean, and he's working. I'm in awe of how he works, because he's working through so many different people to get one thing accomplished. And once you step back and say, okay, God, I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to, I know that you're working this out for my good. Just help me to be in that waiting. It's hard.
And it is, and that's what this says when we approach, especially when we're dealing with people, because people don't act or think a lot of times like we would do it. There's a lady, a vet, that I'm friends with on Facebook. She posts some really cool stuff on her Facebook page a lot about, how she was raised. You just work hard, and if you didn't want to get yelled at, you better not be goofing off. But she said a lot of the employees that she's had, she tried to do them like she was done growing up on the ranch she grew up on.
Right.
And this generation of young people don't do that well, a lot of them.
No,
You need to take time to explain
don't.
to them. And I'm guilty of that. I mean, I got a little bit hard on my kids a lot of times of how I thought things should be done, and I'm one, if it don't get done right then, and it's drill sergeant time, so to speak. And I'm not saying that can't fit the case in some cases, but a lot of times it's not, and that can another weakness that I have with my impatience. But God knows what we're going through, and then we can approach His throne of grace to find help and to receive mercy. And as we get that from God, we also need to do that with other people, and to try to slow down our thought process about if they're not doing right, to be merciful to them, to show them some grace, even though maybe our flesh doesn't want to do that or turn the other cheek or whatever it may be. But if we hang in there. But ultimately, the way we get grace, receive mercy is to God, but we can't give something we don't have.
Right.
And if we don't go get grace and mercy from God, we're sure enough not going to be able to show it.
And I think that's a lot
of
of times when, in the Bible it says that Jesus went away because He was feeling the same things that we can feel. He was feeling impatience with some of His disciples, because He expected them to have that faith, and some of them didn't have the faith that He thought they should. So I feel like when He withdrew, it was because He was at His wits' end too, and He needed that time to refocus and get back.
Exactly.
And
to hear from His Father.
Yeah, and to draw near to His Father and say, okay, help me get through this, because I don't know what to do with these crazy people.
Yeah, and it's the same way in the garden, before the crucifixion. Lord, I don't want to do it, but not my will be done, but yours. And when we come find that, and we see that, we can get to that point in our relationship with the Lord. Okay, Lord, not my will, but yours. Because a lot of times we demand so much of God, and God, why didn't you do that, or why didn't you answer that this way, or that's what I was asking. But it's just like we do our kids. Our kids would come and ask things. We knew it wasn't if it was to their detriment, not their betterment, we're going to, of course, tell them no, or you can't go there. Or, I was very particular about where my kids spent the night at and who they run around with and hung around with and things. And that, not because I was wanting to be hard to get along, or I didn't like the other kids they was doing. It had anything to do with that. It was just, I believe it was my task and responsibility as a parent. Exactly. To watch that, and when we do it wrong, or when our kids do wrong, or anybody, our spouses do wrong, that we show grace and mercy. Sometimes we've got to make a stand and say no more. Understand all of that. Right. But again, as the writer of Hebrews was dealing with this, that Jesus is able to sympathize. He understands our weakness. And I know a lot of times, we don't understand ourselves, and nobody understands our point of view or where we're at. But I promise you, He does.
He sure does.
That's why we need to go to Him, because He understands it, and then He will share His love, His grace, His mercy on us each and every day. And remember, the Word says His mercies are new every morning. So God bless y'all. Thank you for tuning in today. Had two really good services yesterday. Our second service, the Lord really moved in that. Not that they're any more holy than the first. It's just how it worked out. How the Spirit moved. They was both good, but the second service, the Lord moved in a little different way in that. So thank you for everybody that come, and the folks we come prayed for, laid hands on, and prayed for. So Lord bless them. We're going to keep on praying, and again, God's will be done, and we're going to stand strong in our faith on that. So God bless y'all. Cowboy Church tonight, 7 o'clock. Corner Post Cowboy Church right here in the main building, 7 o'clock this evening. And then our Fall Fest, Fun Fest, I don't know, Fall Festival, I believe is what they're calling that for our kids. That starts at 5:30 this Wednesday. We've got games. If it rains, We're maybe not going to be able to do the hayride if it's raining. If it's not raining, we'll stay on the gravel roads around here and keep them out of the mud so we don't sling mud all over from the tractor tires. But that might not happen if it's raining. But we are going to have the petting zoo inside. So if it rains, that's still going on. We're going to move that inside.
We're still going to have fun.
So we're still going to have fun, still have games, still got stuff to give away and the kids to do.
Still be able to do pumpkins.
Still going to feed them all of that. So it might just change a little bit. But it's still going to be going unless a blizzard hits and we just can't get here or something like that. So that's on for Wednesday. So come out and support that. Starts at 5:30. So God bless y'all. Hope you're having a great Monday. Again, Corner Post Cowboy Church tonight at 7. Hope you're having a great, great Monday. And remember, it's faith over fear and Christ over crisis. And if we can help you, holler at us, 918-399
5956.
59. I'll keep wanting to go 5658. I know that's wrong, and that is stuck in my head. So, holler at us, text us, and we'll do what we can. So, God bless y'all. Again, have a great, great Monday.